You are so close to giving up. Let's not pretend otherwise. Let's not code it in spiritual language or positive affirmations. Let's speak the truth of your soul. Right here, right now. You are bone weary. You are tired in a way that sleep cannot fix. It's an exhaustion of the spirit, a fatigue of the very essence of your being from holding a position that has become unbearable. You have done everything you were told to do. You have scripted and journaled until your hands cramped. You have visualized your desired reality, painting it with such vivid detail that you could taste it, feel it, smell its glorious arrival. You have recited affirmations until the words lost all meaning, becoming just hollow sounds in an empty room. You've held the vibration day in and day out, a monumental act of energetic willpower. You've policed your every thought, hunting down stray doubts like a relentless sentinel, standing guard at the gates of your mind. You have done the shadow work, faced the demons, healed the traumas. You have invested your life force, your hope, your very sanity into this process. And for what? To wake up each morning to the same four walls, the same bank account balance, the same reflection in the mirror, the same deafening silence from a universe that promised to conspire in your favor. The resistance is overwhelming. It feels personal. It feels like a punishment. Every step forward is met with a 10-foot wall. Every spark of hope is extinguished by a tidal wave of circumstance. And the cruelest part is the voice that whispers in the dead of night. The voice that says, maybe you're just not worthy. Maybe you got it all wrong. Maybe you're just a fool, chasing a fantasy. This feeling, this soul-crushing urge to just let it all go, to surrender not to faith but to defeat, this is the most misunderstood signal in the entire universe. Imagine for a moment that you are not just a person. You are an architect, an engineer of reality. And for your entire life you have been standing at the foot of a colossal dam. This dam is your old timeline. It's built from the bedrock of your inherited beliefs, mortared together with every I can't, every it's not for people like me, every past failure, every heartbreak, every limitation you've ever accepted as truth. It is a monumental structure of your old identity, holding back the flow of what could be and channeling your life down a narrow, predictable, and safe little stream. For years you have been doing more than just maintaining it. You have been calling in an ocean. Every ritual, every prayer, every visualization wasn't just a hopeful wish sent into the void. It was a cosmic summons. You were gathering the waters of quantum potential, calling forth a new reality of such immense power and high frequency that it began to collect, unseen, behind that old dam. At first it was a gentle pressure, a subtle sense that more was possible. But you kept going. You kept affirming, you kept believing, even when it was hard. The waters rose, the pressure mounted, and now you stand there, exhausted, feeling the entire structure groan. You can feel the vibration of it in your bones. You see the cracks spiderwebbing across the surface. That recurring health issue that won't go away? That's a crack. That financial anxiety that screams in your ear? That's another crack. That profound feeling of loneliness or being misunderstood? A deep structural fissure. And what do? You do what you've always been taught to do. You run. You patch the cracks with frantic effort. You slap on more affirmations. You try a new manifestation technique. You desperately try to muster more faith, more belief, more high vibrational energy to seal the breaches. Your entire existence has become a frantic, desperate attempt to hold together a structure that was never meant to withstand the sheer magnitude of the reality you have so successfully called into being. That bone-crushing fatigue you feel is not a sign of your failure. Read those words again. That exhaustion is not evidence of your weakness. It is the direct, physical, spiritual, and emotional measure of the incredible power you are summoning. The pressure you feel is the tangible proof of the new world pushing against the old. You are not failing. You are succeeding so profoundly that the container of your past can no longer hold the future you have created. The desire to give up, that feeling of, I can't hold this anymore, is not your spirit breaking. It is the dam reaching its structural limit. The solution is not to find a stronger cement. The solution isn't to work harder to reinforce the dam. The great secret, the paradigm shift that will change everything for you, is to finally understand why that dam is gloriously, beautifully, and divinely meant to break. It is time to stop patching the prison. and prepare for the flood. Take a deep breath. Feel that exhaustion in your body. It is holy. It is a testament to your power. What is the one crack in your dam, the one recurring doubt or fear that consumes all of your energy to seal? Let yourself see it. Let yourself feel how tired you are of trying to fix it. This is not the end. This is the recognition that the battle you've been fighting was never about winning. It was about reaching this exact moment of surrender. Comment, I feel. This exhaustion, if you understand this feeling in your soul, you are not alone in this. We are a legion of weary architects, standing before the dams of our old lives, and together, we are about to learn not how to repair, but how to release. To understand why the dam is meant to break, we must first understand the physics of its construction. This isn't just a metaphor. It is the literal, energetic architecture of your reality. The dam you have been so desperately holding together is the complete energetic signature of your past. Every belief, every trauma, every limitation, every story you've ever told yourself about who you are and what is possible for you. These are the stones, the mortar, the very substance of this massive structure. And the immense crushing pressure you feel, that is the higher frequency of the future you have been calling in. It is the vibrational reality of your desires, your prayers, your manifestations, pushing against the container of the past. It is a battle of frequencies, and your desire to give up is the signal that the structure has finally reached its vibrational breaking point. Let's bring a concept from the quantum world into this spiritual space. It's called the quantum Zeno effect. In its simplest form, it states that a particle, an atom, a system that is continuously observed, will not change. It is frozen in place by the act of observation. Now apply this cosmic law to your own life. Your constant vigilance over your old reality, your obsessive checking for cracks, your daily reinforcement of the old stories, your hyper-awareness of your limitations, is a form of quantum observation. You are holding the dam in place with the sheer force of your attention. Every time you say, I am still struggling, you are adding another layer of vibrational concrete to the structure. Every time you focus on the problem, you are feeding it the very energy it needs to persist. You have been told to fight, to push, to hold the vision, to maintain your vibration. But what if the very act of fighting is what has been holding the old timeline together? The frequency of struggle itself is a dense, low vibration. It is the signature frequency of the old world. Effort, resistance, doubt, fear. These are the resonant tones that built the dam in the first place. When you engage in the feeling of struggle, you are energetically aligning with the dam, not with the powerful, effortless water of the new reality. You are speaking the language of the prison wall, not the language of freedom. This is why it has felt so impossible. You have been using the energy of the past to try and create the future, a task that is cosmically and physically impossible. You cannot build a reality of ease from a frequency of immense effort. You cannot birth a timeline of flow from a vibration of resistance. The universe does not respond to your effort. It responds to your resonance. And for so long you have been resonating with the struggle. This brings us to the core of this transmission. The branded concept I want you to integrate into the very fiber of your being. It is the collapse point confirmation. The collapse point confirmation is the sacred moment when the energetic differential between your old timeline and your new timeline becomes unsustainable. The frequency of the future you have summoned, the love, the abundance, the peace, has become so potent, so real on an energetic level, that its pressure against the low-frequency container of your past is reaching a terminal velocity. The dam can no longer contain the vibrational delta. It was built to withstand the pressure of your old self, not the cosmic force of your ascended self. And the feeling of wanting to give up, that bone-deep, soul-crushing exhaustion, is the physical, emotional, and spiritual alarm bell signaling that this point has been reached. It is not a sign of your failure. It is the undeniable proof of your success. It is the confirmation that the collapse is not just possible, but imminent and inevitable. Think of it this way. The groaning sounds you hear from the structure of your life, the shaking of its foundations, are not the sounds of your world falling apart in defeat. They are the harmonic dissonances of a new reality being born. The cracks that appear are not weaknesses. They are fissures of light from your new timeline, breaking through the dense matter of the old. Your desire to let go, to finally stop patching the holes and just let it all crumble, is not you abandoning your dream. It is your soul finally giving you permission to stop maintaining a reality you have already outgrown. The exhaustion is a grace. It is a divine mechanism designed to make you finally stop participating in the illusion of your own limitation. It forces you to take your hands off the wall, to cease your observation of the old system, and in doing so, you finally allow it to undergo its quantum leap. Can you identify a core belief that acts as the very foundation of your old timeline's dam? Is it a belief about your worthiness? About what is possible for you? About the nature of reality itself? Look for the belief that requires the most energy to maintain, the one that feels the heaviest, the most ancient. That is the cornerstone of the entire structure. That is the first piece that must be surrendered to, the pressure of the new. It is the story that has kept you holding on for dear life, believing that letting go meant drowning, when all along it meant being set free. The old paradigm tells you to shore up your beliefs, to double down on your affirmations, to fight harder. But the new quantum paradigm understands that true creation happens not through addition, but through subtraction. You do not need to build a new reality. You only need to stop energizing the old one. This desire to give up is the universe's final, most compassionate invitation to stop, to simply stop. Stop fighting. Stop holding. Stop observing the problem. Stop telling the story of the struggle. That story is the mortar in the dam. In the comments, share the one old story you are most tired of using to patch your dam. Is it, I'm not good enough? Is it, it's always a struggle for me? Is it, I'm always abandoned? Let's name these stories, not to give them power, but to identify them as the foreign objects they are. As the old crumbling mortar we are about to let the waters of truth wash away for good. By writing it down, you are acknowledging it as an external object, not as an intrinsic part of you. You are designating it as part of the dam, a structure that is about to become a relic. This is your moment of profound, illuminating clarity. The urge to quit is not a weakness in your spirit. It is the strength of your new reality, finally overwhelming the resistance of the old. It is a cosmic signal, a confirmation, the beginning of the end you have been praying for. And now, we arrive at the heart of the great cosmic misunderstanding, the sacred error that has cost you everything. You have been working under a false identity. You see yourself as the weary architect, the tireless builder, the spiritual warrior spending every last ounce of life force to maintain a structure against an overwhelming external force. You patch the cracks, you reinforce the walls, you pray for the strength to hold on for just one more day. But what if I told you that you are not the architect? What if I told you that you were never meant to be the builder? The greatest revelation in the journey of manifestation is one of identity. You are not the dam. You are the water. Let that sink into the very marrow of your bones. Feel the shift of that truth in your cells. All this time, you have been identifying with the structure of containment, with the limitations, with the barrier between where you are and where you want to be. You have poured your magnificent, infinite creative energy into maintaining the very prison that holds your power in check. Every affirmation you spoke to strengthen your resolve was, in energetic reality, another layer of concrete on the dam. Every visualization of holding on was another reinforcement of the structure designed to stop the flow. You have been using your divine power against itself. This is, the central paradox of creation. The greatest act of creation is not a final, desperate push. It is the cessation of maintenance. It is the conscious withdrawal of the energy that holds the old reality in place. The universe does not require your struggle. It never has. Your struggle is the frequency that nourishes the old timeline, that gives the dam its illusion of strength. The universe is not asking you to build something new. It is asking you to stop rebuilding the old, moment by agonizing moment. That feeling of wanting to give up is not you abandoning your dream. It is you abandoning the prison. It is your soul finally screaming with such clarity that it can no longer be ignored. I will no longer participate in my own containment. This exhaustion, this feeling of utter and complete defeat, is not a sign that you have failed. It is the final, sacred, energetic key. It is the precise frequency of surrender. Surrender is not weakness. It is the recognition of a power so immense that it can no longer be held back by the flimsy structures of doubt, fear, and past identity. It is the moment the water stops identifying with the concrete and remembers its own nature. Water does not struggle. Water does not fight. Water simply accumulates. It gathers its own weight, its own pressure, its own silent and undeniable truth. It does not attack the dam. It simply becomes too much for the dam to contain. Its own nature, its own being, is the force that guarantees the dam's collapse. Your work has been done, not in the frantic patching of cracks, but in the silent accumulation of your desire, your focus, your new vibration, your alignment. You have been gathering your power behind the scenes, and now, the sheer mass of who you have become is unsustainable for the old structure. The feeling of, "I can't do this anymore," is the single most powerful and creative state you can inhabit. Because it is true, you cannot do this anymore. The ego architect, the struggling identity, the personality you have known, cannot sustain this pressure. It has reached its breaking point, and at that breaking point, a choice is presented. Do you try to find a new way to reinforce the dam, or do you finally let go and remember that you are the unstoppable force it was built to contain? The moment of defeat is the moment of your true birth. It is the ignition point. It is the signal to the cosmos that you have withdrawn your consent from the old reality. It is the moment the water, still and deep, finally accepts its own immense weight. It stops seeing the dam as an obstacle and recognizes it as an irrelevance, a temporary condition that is about to be corrected by the laws of physics and the will of spirit. You have become a force of nature, and forces of nature do not ask for permission. They do not negotiate. They simply become. So I ask you to consider this. With all the stillness in your soul, what if this feeling of "I can't hold on anymore" is actually your soul declaring, "I will no longer be contained"? You have been holding your breath your entire life, and the urge to give up is simply the body's final, desperate, non-negotiable command to exhale, to let it all go, not to lose, but to release, to unleash the flood of your true self upon the dry, barren lands of your old timeline. The dam was never meant to hold forever. It was a training ground. It was a crucible designed to help you accumulate the very power that would eventually bring it down. Its collapse is not a tragedy. It is your graduation. It is your victory. Hit the like button if you are ready to stop being the dam and become the flood. The mind now understands the physics of the collapse, but the soul requires the experience. It's time to stop talking about the water and to become it. So I invite you now, in this moment, to participate in an activation, not just a meditation, but a profound shift in your energetic state. Find a place where you can be undisturbed, even for just a few minutes. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. Take a slow, deep breath and let it go. We are going to feel the collapse of your timeline dam from the inside. Bring your awareness inward, past the noise of the day, past the chatter of the mind. Go deeper. Drop your consciousness down, 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 into the vast, silent space within you. And here, in this inner stillness, I want you to feel yourself not as the weary architect on top of the dam, but as the immense body of water held behind it. Feel your own substance. Feel the cool, silent depth of your being, the incredible, patient weight of your true self, held in a state of potential. For years, maybe decades, you have been accumulating power. Every desire, every dream, every prayer, every tear of frustration has added to your volume, to your mass, to your silent, crushing potential energy. You are not small. You are an ocean waiting behind a wall of your own making. Feel the dam from this perspective. It is not some external obstacle. It is a structure you have meticulously maintained. It is built from the concrete of your limiting beliefs. It is reinforced with the steel rebar of your old stories, your identity, the person you were told you had to be. Feel its immense, solid presence in front of you. Sense the texture of its surface, the cracks you've been so frantically trying to patch. You can feel every single patch job, the belief that you aren't worthy, the story that you have to struggle, the fear that if you let go, everything will be lost. For so long, you have identified with this dam. You thought your job was to protect it, to strengthen it, to keep it from breaking. You have been pouring your infinite energy into containing your infinite self. Feel the sheer absurdity of that. Feel the cosmic irony. You, an ocean of potential, spending all your power trying to stay in a puddle. Now, feel the pressure. The pressure you've been calling resistance and struggle is simply the undeniable truth of your own being pressing against the container. It's not an attack from the outside. It is an expansion from the inside. The new timeline isn't something you are pulling toward you. It is something you already are, pushing to be born through you. The water is rising. The pressure is building. Not out of effort, but out of your simple, undeniable existence. And now we come to the moment of the collapse point confirmation. The moment you have been feeling in your bones. The feeling of giving up. Here as the water, I want you to make a choice. You are going to stop pushing. You are going to stop reinforcing the dam. You are going to withdraw all of your energy from maintaining the old structure. In this moment, you surrender. But you are not surrendering to defeat. You are surrendering to your own magnificent power. You are not giving up on your dream. You are giving up the fight against your own becoming. Take another deep breath, and as you exhale, let go. Let go of the need to hold it all together. Let go of the identity of the struggler. Let go of the belief that your effort is what keeps you safe. And just be the water. Feel what happens in that instant of pure allowance. The dam groans. A deep, resonant sound that vibrates through your entire being. It's the sound of a foundational belief system losing its integrity. A hairline crack appears. You don't force it. Your sheer presence, your sheer weight is all that is required. A single dark trickle of water escapes. The first taste of freedom. The water of your true self touching the dry ground of a new reality for the first time. And that first touch is all it takes. The crack widens. The trickle becomes a stream. The groan of the structure rises in pitch to a scream as the unsustainable pressure finds its release. And then, the glorious collapse. The dam does not just break, it shatters. It disintegrates into a billion pieces of light and dust. The concrete of I can't dissolves. The rebar of I'm not good enough vaporizes. The entire structure of your old reality, the prison you mistook for a fortress, ceases to exist in a thunderous roar of liberation. And you flow. Feel it. Feel the exhilarating, unstoppable rush of your own being, released from containment. You are a tidal wave of pure potential, pouring forth into a new landscape. It is not violent. It is not chaotic. It is a peaceful, powerful, inevitable homecoming. You are not crashing and destroying. You are arriving and transforming everything you touch. See the new world that is revealed as you flow into it. The colors are brighter. The air is electric with possibility. This is the timeline you have been praying for, manifesting, crying for. But you didn't have to build it. You just had to allow yourself to flow into it. You were the key, the cause, and the destination all at once. Stay in this feeling of flow, the pure, effortless momentum of your true nature. There is no struggle here. There is no resistance. There is only the joyful, expansive expression of what you have always been, an unstoppable force of creation. Breathe in this new reality. It is your native state. As you flowed through the broken dam, what piece of the old world was the first to dissolve into nothing? Was it a fear? A memory? A name you used to call yourself? A limitation you thought was true? Acknowledge it, and watch it become nothing in the power of your current. This is not just a visualization. It is an activation, a quantum event you have just initiated in your own energy field. The dam is broken. The old timeline has lost its structural integrity. You have shifted. Make it real in this dimension. Anchor this energetic reality right now. Go to the comments and declare your freedom for the universe to witness. Anchor this new state of being by commenting, "The dam is broken. The roar has subsided. The thunderous crash of the old reality has given way to a profound and steady movement. You can feel it in your bones, a deep, resonant hum where the tension used to be. You are on the other side. The water, which is you, now flows through a landscape you have never seen before, a world born from the dissolution of the old one. But in this new quiet, a new question arises. one that is subtle, yet persistent. What now? How do you move in a world without walls? How do you live when the great battle of your life has finally been won, not through a final push, but through a final surrender? This is the fertile ground of uncertainty, the space between the old identity and the new. It is here that we must redefine our role entirely. Your purpose has undergone a quantum shift. You are no longer the builder nor the destroyer of dams. You are the river itself, a conscious current. For so long, your identity was forged in the crucible of resistance. You were a spiritual warrior, your muscles tensed, your will focused, your entire being aimed at a singular point of pressure. You measured your progress by the sweat on your brow, by the exhaustion in your soul, by how hard you could hold a vibration against the onslaught of doubt. That identity served its purpose. It accumulated the immense power needed to break the structure. But to carry that warrior identity into this new timeline is like wearing a suit of armor while trying to swim. It is heavy. It is cumbersome. It will sink you. Your work is no longer to fight for the future. It is to consciously inhabit the one you have just entered. This new timeline operates under a different set of energetic laws. The primary law is no longer force, but flow. And to live by this law, you must first learn to navigate the waters of your new reality. As you move, you will notice things floating past you. These are the remnants of the old world, the debris from the collapsed dam, a sudden wave of an old fear, an echo of a limiting belief, a reflexive habit that belonged to the person who lived in scarcity and struggle. This is the old debris. The warrior's instinct, deeply ingrained, is to engage it, to fight it, to analyze it, to fear it. The warrior sees debris and immediately thinks, I must build a new wall to stop this from happening again. This is the most crucial moment of your integration. You do not build new dams. You recognize the debris for what it is: dead matter, ghost data from a deleted timeline. It has no structural integrity. It has no power over you unless you give it your attention, unless you hook into it with your energy and try to fight it. Your new practice is one of divine observation. You see the old thought of, I'm not good enough, float by like a piece of driftwood. You acknowledge it without judgment. You watch it, and you let the powerful, steady current of your new reality carry it downstream, out of your field, until it dissolves into nothing. You do not engage. You do not resist. You simply allow the flow to cleanse itself. This is your first act as a timeline navigator. You trust the current. The second tool and your new compass is the principle of flow state alignment. Your old compass was effort. You believed that the path of greatest struggle led to the greatest reward. You were taught to push against the current because that's what heroes do. But a river does not fight its way to the ocean. It follows the path of least resistance. It surrenders to gravity, to the shape of the land, and in its surrender, it finds its inevitable, unstoppable power. Flow state alignment means you now make choices based on energetic resonance, not on perceived difficulty. Before making a decision, whether it's about your career, a relationship, or what to do with your afternoon, you stop trying to figure it out with the logical mind that built the dam. Instead, you feel. You ask your inner being, your conscious current, which path feels like it is opening? Which choice makes the energy within me expand and flow faster, more freely? Which direction feels like a release and which feels like a constriction? This is not a path of laziness. It is the path of supreme energetic intelligence. Effort and struggle are signs of friction. They are signals that you are trying to flow uphill, that you are fighting your own nature. The path of expansion, the choice that feels like a deep, internal yes, is the universe showing you the most direct, frictionless route to your highest expression. It is the current itself guiding you. You are learning to partner with the very force that you are. You are moving from a mindset of conquest to one of elegant, powerful cooperation with the cosmos. This redefines you at your core. The spiritual warrior is defined by the obstacle. Their existence requires a wall to push against. But the timeline navigator is defined by their connection to the journey itself. The warrior lives in a state of perpetual tension, always braced for impact. The navigator lives in a state of active relaxation, of sensitive awareness, their senses attuned not to danger, but to the subtle shifts in the current. guiding them toward ever greater expressions of their dream. It is a shift from a clenched fist to an open palm. What is the first decision, big or small, you can make from this new state of flow? Perhaps it's choosing the conversation that feels light and inspiring over the one that feels like an obligation. Perhaps it's following a sudden illogical urge to drive to a new place or to start a creative project, or to simply rest, because rest feels more expansive than forced productivity. You are recalibrating your entire guidance system from the frequency of struggle to the frequency of grace. You are learning to trust that what feels good, what feels right, what feels like flow, is your direct line to the divine. This is how you stabilize yourself in this new reality. This is how you make it your home. You stop fighting the river. You become the river, and you let it carry you home. Comment with one commitment you are making to honor your new flow this week. Declare it. Anchor this new identity, not as a warrior who has won, but as a navigator who has arrived. And so the pressure releases. The thunder of the collapse quiets to a whisper, and for the first time in what feels like a lifetime, you hear the sound of your own sovereign flow. You are through the chasm, past the wreckage of what was. You have arrived. But do not mistake this profound peace for a destination. The collapse of the dam was not the end of the race. It was the starting gun for an entirely new existence. This is not the shore of victory you have landed upon. This is the coast of infinity. You have just witnessed the birth of a new state of being, a transition as fundamental as a star igniting in the dark. The warrior can now lay down their sword, not because the war is won, but because the very concept of a battlefield has dissolved. You have spent so long defining yourself by the dam, by its strength, by its cracks, by your struggle against it. But the river was never meant to end at the dam. The river was always, and only, meant to reach the sea. Welcome to the ocean of quantum potential. Breathe it in. There is no scent of struggle here, only the clean, crisp energy of pure possibility. Look around you. Where are the riverbanks that once guided and constrained you? They are gone. Where is the singular, forward-pushing current that you had to fight against or surrender to? It has been replaced by something far more vast, far more intelligent. You are now floating in a boundless expanse where reality is no longer a linear path to be carved, but a holographic medium to be impressed upon. Here you do not break through barriers. You do not push against resistance, because in an infinite ocean, there is nothing to resist. There are only currents, tides of synchronicity, cosmic waves of resonance, and deep, powerful undertows of creation that you can now sense, not with your mind, but with your very being. This is the new playing field. In the old reality of the river, you manifested through force of will, through focused intention, through holding a vibration against the deafening noise of doubt. It was an act of assertion. Here, in the ocean, manifestation is an act of attunement. It is the art of co-creation. You no longer send out a signal hoping it will return. You become a resonant chamber, and the universe, in its oceanic vastness, rushes to fill you with the harmony you are embodying. Your thoughts are no longer arrows you shoot at a target. They are ripples you create on the surface of a conscious living sea, and the entire ocean reorganizes itself around that ripple, instantly, effortlessly. This is a place where your very presence is creative. You do not have to try to manifest here. You simply have to be. The game has changed completely. The skills that got you through the dam, the grit, the persistence, the spiritual warfare, are the very things that will hold you in place here. To try and swim against a cosmic tide with the strength of your arms is to exhaust yourself for no reason. The new paradigm is not one of effort, but of elegant navigation. It is learning to feel the subtle pull of a synchronous current that is taking you directly to a reality more beautiful than the one you were fighting for. It is learning to trust the swell of a wave, knowing it is the universe rising up to meet your highest potential. It is the profound realization that you are not a drop in the ocean. You are the entire ocean in a drop. And so the old questions you have been asking yourself become obsolete. They are questions for a river builder, not an ocean navigator. The question is no longer, how do I break through? The question is no longer, when will my manifestation arrive? Those questions dissolve in this new expanse. They have no meaning here. The next level of your evolution demands a new level of inquiry. The questions now become infinitely more profound. How do you navigate when there are no riverbanks to guide you? How do you choose a destination when all points on the compass are equally and instantly accessible? How do you manifest when you are already intrinsically one with the everything you could possibly desire? These are not questions to be answered with the mind. They are to be felt. They are to be lived. They are the koans of the new human, the new creator, the one who has graduated from the reality of struggle into the reality of flow. This is not an end point. It is the true beginning. The dam was your chrysalis. The collapse was your emergence. This ocean is your sky. So I ask you, now that the battle is over, what grand exploration is your soul calling for in this vast ocean of potential? What new continents of consciousness are you ready to discover? What new forms of life, of love, of creation are waiting for you just beyond the horizon of your old imagination? The exhaustion is gone. The fight is over. Your energy is now 100% available for pure, joyful creation. Do not waste a single moment trying to rebuild the memory of the dam. Your future is not behind you. It is all around you. You didn't just break a dam. You unlocked an ocean. But navigating an ocean of infinite potential requires a new map, a new compass, one written not in ink, but in the language of pure energy. And in our next journey together, we will learn to read it, to ensure you are part of that expedition, to learn the language of the cosmic tides and the art of effortless creation. Subscribe to this channel and activate all notifications, because now that we have arrived at the ocean, our next journey is to learn its sacred silent language. The real adventure has just begun.